Hey everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the VOD Squad. This is episode 76 on Wednesday, April 4th, 2018. I'm Clyde, and today I am joined by Matthew Ross.
Hi everybody.
All the way from sunny Chicago, Jimmy Trammell.
Hello everybody.
And freezing his butt off in 60-degree Texas, Michael Aston.
Hello. Yeah, I was really annoyed that I wore shorts today because I walked outside and it was actually a little chilly. I wasn't the nice toasty warm that I was yesterday, and that frustrated me a lot.
Yeah, I was excited to go pick up my new car in the middle of a blizzard, and then
it was really fun scraping the ice off the windscreen this morning, right?
Yeah. See, it's what you want to do when you buy a new car. You want to leave the dealership and panic the whole way home, driving this thing that you are not familiar with on icy roads that have no traction. You can't actually enjoy the vehicle. Yeah.
When does it actually get to be spring up in Minnesota anyway?
What is spring is what I always say. A lot of times, as I was telling Mike earlier, a lot of times it'll be snowy and 40 and then the next day be 80. Mm-hmm. Just boom. And all sweaty and gross. Like in Florida.
Ew. Spring is when it's not freezing every night, but it's not getting really hot every day. So that might be a whole week. It might be longer.
Well, that's the description of everything except for the wet season in Seattle.
Right.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's like 4 days out of the year it doesn't rain, and then you guys stay inside because it's too bright.
No, that's not how it works. But,
don't they have like days where they'll shut down the school because there's too much sun? Kind of like in Southern California, if it gets above a certain temperature, they call it off, or you get too much snow. No.
No.
Okay.
But if there's enough sun and they actually got the guys to get the people to go to the beaches in Seattle, it's really scary. It's the scariest thing.
Vampires move up to Seattle is because it's almost always cloudy. So it's
luckily you've got Wabbit in the chat backing you up. He said it's more than 4 days.
Oh yeah,
more than
we
4
actually believe it or not, about once a year in the Seattle area, it gets really hot about for a week or two, and that's it. 90 degrees to 100 degrees.
So let me ask you, Matt, do you actually own a pair of sunglasses?
No. I don't believe
survive.
I don't believe in sunglasses.
See, that's the thing that I am most angry about.
He literally doesn't even believe they exist.
No, I do believe they exist.
No, he's.
What would you need the sunglasses for? The sun doesn't really come out through the clouds.
I originally came from Central Washington. Central Washington gets a lot of heat and a lot of sun. It's on the rain shadow, and so I've had sunny days for months and months and months over there. I still don't use sunglasses.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You don't have to believe in sunglasses because they believe in you.
Oh, okay.
And on that note, what is in the stream?
We have lots of things in the stream. Hey, BBC has been getting out and talking to different places out there, and basically complaining loudly that Netflix and Amazon are doing really well, and they aren't doing as well. They're just kind of complaining. Basically, they're saying that they've been trying to expand their reach out to many different places out there with their iPlayer platform, and finding it very difficult to compete with how Netflix and Amazon are able to just go out and find subscribers and get paid, have a paid direct format versus their, you know.
So let me get this straight. What you're telling me is that an unrestricted free market is able to provide better service than the government?
No. It's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying that the people tend to like them better. That's all.
So what I'm saying is, it sounds like exactly what I was saying.
Well, yeah, but that all I'm saying is that may have nothing to do with.
You're saying the government service is better but the people like the other one.
Maybe people like choice and they hate the service. I don't know. All I'm saying is they like the option better. It sounds like.
These are the stories that just make me smile. All you people that want more government to run more things. Perfect example of why not.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that really gets me about this is BBC has produced some amazing content, and I think they still do produce some really good stuff. They really are a top tier company when it comes to the quality and the stuff that they produce. But they have, from the beginning, been mired in bad decisions about what to do with that content. And from the early days where they refused to let it be viewed outside of England to now where, yeah, there's some that's allowed out, but it's all restricted, or you go through different services. It's baffling, but you're exactly right, in my opinion, that this is what more can you expect from a government-run entity?
Yeah, I was going to say, so you're saying that a government entity made bad decisions. I don't believe it. I really don't. I find that hard to believe.
Well, I don't know how to fix this, but if I were to try, I would say, they have their current system, which is everybody who's a British citizen may pay for a tax, and if they pay for that tax, they get the television shows for free.
It's not may.
You do. There is no may.
Prove you don't have a TV at all. Yeah. No TV. You have to pay for it.
Exactly, it's a TV tax, and if you can prove that you don't have a TV, you don't have to pay. You don't have to pay the tax for BBC. I think that they should be looking outside of if it's possible, of what they do in England. And I know the part of the problem is that they've licensed out a lot of their content to things like Netflix and to other different PBS and other programs. But reel that back in over time, and then just do outside of England, go ahead and just let it be a subscription model like everybody else.
Yeah.
That'll take some time for them to get their licenses back, but it would work.
Well, that's the way they should do, right? I mean, they should just make a subscription for it. I mean, they should have done it years ago, really. Right? And I think Mike is right. They've let some of it out on Netflix. They've let some of it out on Hulu. And just really late to the game to make an overall subscription to the service.
Very cool.
What's amazing is that they didn't even make simple choices like working with other companies to release it in a more structured fashion, right? They don't necessarily have to own. They didn't necessarily have to create or recreate Netflix in order to release their content or stream it through like Disney's streaming service. But they didn't even get good deals like with comprehensive releases or anything like that. They auctioned off individual shows, which I'm sure they didn't get great deals on because they were individual shows, and most of the time they were auctioned before they had the big reputation outside of the country. Mm-hmm. It's pretty clear that it was very poorly managed.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we have a story about Google Play audiobooks and the fact that they've actually got their first quality of life update since they were introduced in January. Google Play is basically trying to be the competing against Amazon's audiobooks from Audible, and they've actually got a pretty nice selection of options available for you if you want to be looking for a book to listen to. These updates include things like a bookmark system, so you can actually bookmark an audio clip for yourself for future reference. Smart resume feature, which means that if you stop in the middle of a sentence and you resume later, it'll actually rewind to the beginning of that sentence for you. And other little things like routines. And my favorite thing, you can now get your audiobooks in your family library, so you can share it with other family members.
Can I get my Android assistant to read my books to me?
You used to be able to with the old just a regular books program. But it was weird because you had to actually leave the book open. You couldn't switch apps.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't, and you couldn't let your device fall asleep because it would stop reading it to you. I've got the first several chapters of Ready Player One read to me that way, and it was annoying. And I swear, what they need to do, Google or whoever else figures this out about having it read to you. Figure out a way of figuring out a character. Oh, this is spoken by a character. Give it a different voice. I don't care if it's right or wrong.
They
but
do
just,
it, if they did it in a different font or like italics or something. Or I guess they could just do it with formatting, like stars and dots.
Metadata, just get it in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's things they could do to do that. However, I would say that it would be one voice for all characters and then a narrator voice. Anything more complex than that would be extremely difficult. However, one thing I wonder about this is it didn't indicate to me if these were like legitimate audiobooks or if like what you were talking about, they were readings of digital books.
These are
like computer readings.
These are legitimate audiobooks, the same ones you get from Audible usually. You're probably not necessarily the ones that they kind of like they make themselves, because I know they do make a couple of their own, but there's a lot of audiobooks that are not made by them, and they are trying to be in the market to sell audiobooks. I personally purchased Lord of the Rings, the first two, and I've been listening to it, and it's actually an old radio rendition of the Lord of the Rings, and I love it, and it's wonderful to listen to, so it's a nice little feature.
What's the kind of pricing on that compared to Audible, where Audible's mostly a monthly subscription?
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Audible requires that you pay for a monthly subscription and you get a certain number of books. Now, some books actually require you to buy 2 books to get the whole book because they're so big. No, that's not how they do it here. They actually charge up front, and that could be anywhere from $10 for an audiobook to $50 for a big one. So it's it could be expensive. But
So
they have
you're
sales.
basically paying full price,
right.
hardback price.
So that was the thing.
So I am an Audible subscriber. I pay $15 a month, and you get one audiobook a month for that.
Yeah. When I had a commute, Audible was amazing. I loved it, and it saved my day because then I actually enjoyed my drive to work. Sometimes I wish it took a little longer. Now I don't have a long enough commute that it even makes sense to start a book. I don't get far enough in the 6 to 8 minutes that it takes me to get to work. But when I was commuting, I absolutely loved it, and the price made it reasonable. I looked at audiobooks in the past, but back when you had to buy them at like the bookstore, they were often $50 for a real book. So Audible made that manageable, and very few of their books were like 2 credits per book or anything like that. That's definitely the exception. Audible's really good, so I'd be interested to see if this is similar quality. These are pretty cool features, though. Definitely.
Before we move on, Matt, do me a favor. Say Audible.
Audible.
That's not what you've been saying.
Audible. What have I been saying?
You've been.
He was saying audible.
Yeah,
Audible?
Audible.
Sorry. Hey,
But I was
audible.
willing to let that slide.
Audible. All right.
Well, they are
You
audible.
ruined my bit.
Sorry. Well, you told me to say Audible, so I said Audible. If you said, say that company that Amazon uses to sell read
Yeah,
out
hey,
loud
say
books,
that.
so
Say
it's
that
Audible.
company that Amazon uses to sell spoken books.
Audible.
Audible.
You know what?
Okay, move on.
All right. Okay, so I'm not so certain if this was in last week's rundown, and I didn't spend any time to check to see if I was in there. But the CW has been taking their channel away from the various streaming services in order to promote you to watch their shows using their own app.
Which is actually pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. But it looks like now the CW is actually coming back to the Hulu Live services. It looks like right now it's coming out to 8 cities across the nation, and more coming soon. So, what are they doing? Did they decide it was a bad idea the way they were going?
Maybe
before?
they saw the error in their ways, because most people don't know that the app exists. I mean, most of the time when anybody mentions CW, I say, "Oh yeah, they get the app." Oh, but it's probably not on Roku. No, it's on Roku. Wait, there's an app, and it's free. Wait, but I'm just glad for the reminder, because I need to go back. I've probably missed like 4 weeks of Zombie, so thank you. I know what I'm doing.
Very welcome. Moving on, we have a story about Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll, of course, is an anime service where you can get all kinds of cool anime shows, and apparently they have an anime show called "Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon?" I've never heard of this.
It's actually really good.
Okay. Well, they've also decided to go ahead and release a online game for that's on your phone, so you can now also play along if you wish. It's a kind of an interesting promotion.
Is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon? Well, I don't know. How heavy is the girl?
If she's too heavy, that's definitely wrong. But yeah, I don't get why they're all excited about this, because it's like everybody else has been doing this for 10 years now. I mean, there's been 15 Family Guy games, a couple Simpsons games. Netflix has their Stranger Things game. Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network put out new games based on their shows every week. Yeah. No, I mean, I'm glad they're doing it. And it's a good anime, so, yeah.
Okay. Well, okay.
Yeah.
Moving on, Alexa's DVR is Alexa doesn't have a DVR actually. Your DVR from your cable service or television service will soon be able to be controlled by Alexa. Alexa, if you can hear me, Alexa, sing me a song. So this means that if you are in the future, you will be able to set up your Amazon Echo device to give it the ability to go ahead and tell it to record a show for you, using, as long as you are one of those supported services like DirecTV, Dish, TiVo, and Verizon.
Well, so my Echo Dot tried to, but she doesn't know that. Apparently, that song is not in her repertoire.
Oh, she did actually try? Nice.
She did. She's like, "I'm sorry, but I don't know that."
Well, how very British of you.
Yeah, this is awesome. I love the features that they keep adding to it, making it more and more valuable. I just want to get more Echo Dots throughout my house and more devices that integrate with it, so that I don't ever have to touch anything again. I can just talk to everything and have everything respond to me.
So this is going to be a skill. So you're going to say, Echo, tell TiVo to record my show, and it will then be able to do the thing. Okay.
But
better than nothing, I guess.
That's
but how does the Echo, how is it aware of your TiVo account?
You just you have to do a couple of clicks in the app to register the accounts and stuff like that. I can control my Fire TV through my Echo that's in the same room. I can set up the skills to do some stuff, and I can tell it, search anything that I could do on the Fire TV directly. I can now do hands free without having to even touch the remote or anything. I can just say, watch Stranger Things on Netflix, and it will open up Netflix and go to Stranger Things. So it's great to be able to just simplify the process and things. So very happy about it. and this is a nice improvement. I've canceled my PlayStation View, but it's not on there anyway, so that would just make me sad. So I'm glad. PlayStation View needs nothing now because they're no longer my thing.
Oh man, how the mighty have fallen. All right, we have a story about Amazon is developing a new TV series based on A League of Their Own. This is based on the book series, not the movie. But it will not be following the same team as they was shown in the movie. So we're going to be seeing some new stories from a different team with new characters in this new series. So,
at first when I heard this, I thought this is ridiculous. But then, as Mike and I were talking about it, I realized they could totally Mad Men this. The league went for 9 years, so if each season is a season, they could totally. And, you see how life changes and society changes over those years, because like Mad Men started in, 64, and then went through 72.
It started in 60, actually.
Oh, okay. It started in 60 and went all the way to 72. And you see the drastic change in everything throughout that time. And as long as they keep Rosie O'Donnell as far away from this as possible, I might be in.
They just have to remember there's no crying in baseball.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I enjoyed the movie enough, but it seems like, I don't know, it seems like it'd be a stretch to turn it into an ongoing series. But you're right, there are some things they could do with it, so we'll see.
Well, it depends on the writing. I mean, to Clyde's point, if they do it in the framework like what they did with Mad Men, they put some good writers in there, put at least some decent actors in there. I mean, it'd be a worthwhile series to watch.
It's like the show that I'm actually looking forward to coming back on HBO, Ballers, which is kind of similar in the fact that it's the lives of professional football players in the off season. So it's kind of the flip side, but and I find it actually kind of compelling. Even
Ballers,
though I don't...
is that the one with Dwayne Johnson?
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually really good. It's worth watching. And Denzel Washington's son is like one of the main characters, which apparently he did play pro football for a little while. But yeah, so yeah, I might be in. Apparently, I was just looking through this article and it said that they tried this once before.
Really?
Yeah, back in '93, there was a short-lived adaptation on CBS, but it lasted only 3 episodes.
Well, '93, I was a freshman in high school,
Well, back in '93, that still depended on what night it came on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
but they didn't get any Nielsen households, I'm guessing.
All right. Looks like we've got some new rules in Europe about your ability to stream your videos in different countries, and if you're in one country and you travel to another, you should still be able to stream whatever you want from your country to another country. Well, that's not true if you're going to be using BBC's iPlayer, which is proving to be extremely difficult to mitigate the legalese in order to make this make it happen. And on top of that, as soon as Brexit happens, it's just guaranteed not to happen. So get used to it.
So I defer you back to the first story, and they can't figure out why people prefer Netflix and Amazon.
I don't know what to say.
I don't. I'm without words. So.
All right, moving on. We have finally some real concrete news on ESPN Plus. ESPN Plus is officially going to be launching on April 12th. It will be $5 a month or $50 a year, and you will be able to stream to whatever device that currently has the official ESPN app, which means there's no new app for it. You'll just be using the existing app with a paid feature that gets added on, which is good. We didn't know this stuff. This is all good information for us.
Yeah, it's got MLB, NHL, boxing, MLS, college sports. Probably not the college sports you want. It's probably going to be like discus and long jump and.
So the question I have here is that is it streaming only, or will you have on-demand service as well?
It's a good question. I don't know if it's going to be only streaming live stuff or if it's going to be like you can bring back an on-demand of something earlier. It's a very good question. I do not see that information, but I do have a question. I want to know if they have Ultimate Frisbee. I'd watch that.
No, I think they've just got regular Frisbee.
Oh, man.
The thing that I find kind of a little silly in this article is their assessment of, you know, the pricing and stuff. How this is a good deal at $5 a month, which is because it's much cheaper than, you know, services with like NFL, MLB, and stuff like that, which range well in the $100 to $200 a month a year range instead of $50 a year. But the reality is this is not their premium stuff. It is not what you get on the ESPN channel. It is second-rate show sports, things that basically the big networks, the cable companies that are having to pay for each user don't want to pay for. They don't want, you know, this isn't what's on ESPN, ESPN2, or even like ESPNU. So, you know, there will be people that want this because, you know, that cricket fan that wants to be able to watch cricket or whatever, this is an opportunity. Like you said, you know, if it had Ultimate Frisbee, you'd watch it. But man, this is not going to be a huge numbers game for them, I don't think.
Well, I mean, if you look at the specs, it says they will, during the baseball season, they will have a MLB game each day, a NHL game each day, then like up to 2 or more than 250 MLS games. But for 115 to 200 a year, yeah.
Well, this will be the teams that don't merit broadcast on the bigger channels. It'll be, you know, I mean, I don't even know.
So you're talking they won't play the Cardinals because merit's all about the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it'll be the Cardinals farm team.
Yeah.
Well, that's not MLB.
No, it isn't. But I mean, I don't know. Like back when I was watching baseball and stuff, it was like the Expos were the team that nobody actually watched.
I would love to see them air an Expos game.
Yeah, but now, you know, I don't know what it is now, but back then it was the Expos because
the Expos don't exist anymore.
Right.
They're the Washington
That's why
Nationals.
I picked them, because I wasn't insulting anybody that was an Expos fan.
You're insulting the Washington Nationals.
Is that who it is now?
Yeah, it was their first like winning series of winning seasons, and then they said, "Oh, you're not a team anymore. You're going to Washington D.C."
Yeah,
but yeah.
Well, yeah. So I mean, point being, it's going to be appealing to the people that can suddenly get the games that they could never get before, but that's going to be this subset, right? It's going to be kind of the long tail, the niche market. So we'll see. You know, hopefully it'll help them. Yeah. You know, I don't have anything out for ESPN to fail. I like being able to see sports, so hopefully they'll survive and they'll do well. But
yeah, and you know, Media King points out that this primes the pump for its other BAMTech offering, Disney Channel. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know, yeah. I like that they're doing this from a purely technical standpoint, but I don't see paying, what was it, $115 to $200 a year.
Well, no, it's $50 a year for this. What they're saying is that's super cheap compared to other services.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. They're offering it for $50 a year. Okay.
Yeah. It's a lot cheaper, but it still feels very expensive, again, for this second rate.
If I was a sports guy, I might be tempted by that, but I'm not. So
I'd be totally tempted if I like had somebody over and said, "Hey, let's watch this team that I'm really interested in." And I'm like, "Well, the only thing it's on is on this, ESPN Plus. Well, I'll spend $5. That's worth it."
So what I'm seeing is Disney, who is soon to be a major shareholder or controlling interest in Hulu, is following the Hulu model. Because you guys remember Hulu Plus? Mm-hmm. Hulu Plus was the online version of Hulu. And it didn't have crap. And then eventually they just said, screw it, and dropped the plus. So I want to know how long until they say screw it and drop the plus, and it's just like, nope, everything's here. It's just ESPN.
2 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that is
how long it takes for them to get out of some of the contracts that they're in with the cable companies. That's ultimately, and maybe that is it. Maybe what they're doing is they're setting themselves up for a solution that allows them to already have something in place as those contracts with cable companies start to go away, and they won't renew those or something.
All right. Netflix has gone ahead and gotten themselves a few more nominations for BAFTA awards. They've gone ahead and gotten, for two of their shows, The Crown and for Black Mirror, they've gotten a total of 6 nominations, which they've never won a nomination for a major category. They've done things for like visual effects, but they've been looking really hard to see if they can get one of these nominations for the British awards here.
Well, I just think that it's ridiculous that Netflix would even have an opportunity to be on these kinds of award shows. They don't make film and they don't make television. That's for film and television companies. They shouldn't even be in this.
Thank you, Steven Spielberg. And on that note, I have, I guess, 2 questions. Number 1, what the hell is a BAFTA? And number 2, why do they want one?
So the British Academy of Film and Television Arts is BAFTA.
They don't make film.
No,
they
you
might
don't even
make
have
TV, but they don't do films.
to get a BAFTA. You don't even need to make it. You just have to have a British actor or a British director or something like that. That's it.
Oh, okay.
And I guess this is another reason why the BBC doesn't like Netflix.
They're stealing our awards that we should have won with your tax dollars.
This is our award show. We made it for ourselves.
All right.
Now we can't even win them. Yeah, I mean, it's always. I think that we're getting to a point where award shows and recognition like this becomes less and less important, right? Back 20 years ago, I think that it actually added some value to companies to be able to draw eyes and attention when, the way you found out about shows was to physically talk to your friends, read magazines like, I don't know, Entertainment Weekly or whatever, or just sit there and randomly select something out of the TV guide or off of the scrolling TV guide on your cable. Now we can look, we get suggested by Netflix or by Amazon the shows that we should watch based on our viewing habits and what we've liked and stuff like that. This becomes so much less important, but it's a history thing, right? Historically, awards and rewards have been of value to the industry, and it makes people feel good to get awards. So
maybe we should have an algorithm award.
I'd just like to point something out before we move on. So they gave them a BAFTA. Netflix got some BAFTAs for The Crown, which is a show about British royalty. Mm-hmm. And Black Mirror, which is a show Netflix purchased from the BBC.
Correct.
So, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But
So
to
then
be
the,
clear,
the
they're only
BBC is
nominated.
getting.
Oh, they were only nominated. Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll see if they win. I think that it's
I think
coming
it's
up
rigged.
in a
Step
couple
up,
of
brother,
So-
guys. Step
So
up the list.
Netflix is getting the BAFTA, and BBC is getting the SHAFTA.
They put it in. Somebody put it in.
Somebody show title that.
BBC's getting the Shafta. Could somebody get me a Shasta? Chocolate, please.
Ooh, I've never had a chocolate.
Oh, I haven't seen them since like the early 80s. They're awesome.
Nicely done, Jimmy.
So are you gonna put it in, or am I gonna have to put it in?
Okay.
All right. Moving on, Netflix announces that they are going to be making a new animated series for which is based off of your park rangers and and the kind of life they have. And
Brickleberry.
this is not a show that you want to be showing to your kids. This is kind of your more grown-up humor kind of stuff. It's called
Adult
Paradise
Swim.
PD.
It's sorry.
What?
It's Paradise what?
It's called
PD.
Paradise PD.
Oh, Paradise PD.
Yeah.
I was not a fan of Brickleberry, which was the other thing that they made. And that's saying a lot because typically if it's animated, I'm in. It was like they're just trying too hard. And
Is this along the line of like Family Guy or something like that?
kind of, it's like Yogi Bear meets Family Guy. So if Yogi Bear took place in the Family Guy universe, that's kind of what Brickleberry was. Or sorry, Cleveland. Not even as funny as Family Guy. It was more the Cleveland show. And so I mean I'll check it out. We'll see, but I don't have too high of hopes.
All right, moving on. We have another season of baseball coming up, and another season means that another time where you'll be able to watch some of your games on Twitter, believe it or not.
Wow.
Last year, they went ahead and streamed one game per week for free on Twitter's website, and they did it once again this year. They got another season in their that they will be streaming online live. Did anybody watch a game on Twitter or anything live on Twitter last year?
I tried, and I thought it was obnoxious, so I just kind of...
Didn't they do Thursday night football as well?
They got
believe they
Thursday
did.
Night Football from Amazon, or was it the other way around? One of them had it, then the other one had it this year. I don't know.
Yeah, I think Twitter had it first. I think Amazon has it now.
Sports ball.
Right.
I'm more interested in the story at the bottom that says 7-year-old girl with bionic hand throws pitch at World Series.
That'd be awesome.
That's cool.
That sounds
I
very
want
cool.
a bionic hand.
You have to lose your hand first.
Oh, so like you just like can't find it?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
You couldn't have
I
a
didn't
third
work
one?
very hard. Can I get a new one?
Talk to the surgeon.
All right. Well, I mean, when I had my last knee surgery, I asked them to just give me a peg, and they got angry at me. So
I will say that I like this type of thing because it's finding more ways to get sports, a variety of sports options out there. I would prefer that I just be able to buy the teams a la carte or something like that. But great, whatever. Show your sports, show your TV wherever you can show it. Twitter, not the place I would think of to go for this, but
See, Twitter makes sense for like current news. I mean, if they could set the interface so you could see the trending stuff about whatever you're watching going on, and I guess that's what they're trying to do here. This is totally. I mean, they should totally own the red carpet, quite frankly. They should be spending as much money as they can for that, so you can watch it live on Twitter, and you get to see it, and you get to see all the trending stuff on it, because that's the kind. I mean, I can imagine that being really popular, but I don't know. I mean, sports is sports.
But isn't this more for like the handheld device? Which I mean,
Yeah.
I just don't see myself watching sports on a handheld device. I know millennials will do it, but and to me, what I think's missing here, I think Twitter should make. I think they do make apps for like Apple TV, Roku's, Fire TVs, and all, but. And that's okay to make that, but for services like this, they should make a separate app, call it a Twitter video app or something like that, to do the streaming videos separate from their regular Twitter app.
I mean, I think ultimately their goal is to become like the place where people can view and talk about what they're seeing, so that it's it turns watching an event in a disconnected way into a connected way. So now I can be here at my house effectively watching the baseball game with you wherever you're at in Chicago or whatever. Mm-hmm. And because we can, tweet to each other or tweet to everybody about what's going on in the game. And, there's conceptually it makes sense, but it just doesn't seem to be the kind of way that people use Twitter or this kind of thing. So, I don't know. That's me.
Who shut down their computer?
I think
that was my phone. My phone just got notified of that.
Your phone makes a Windows sound?
Apparently.
I thought.
Sorry, guys.
I thought Scotty just beamed up Captain Kirk
somewhere.
Forgot to mute my phone. Sorry.
It's okay. All right, moving on. It looks like SpaceX has gotten approval to do a huge project, which they're trying to do. They want to go ahead and send up about 4,500 satellites into space with the goal of getting a number of 12,000 eventually, to give you 1 gigabit per second internet as an option.
So what I'm hearing is someone's actually going to provide us with 4G. People have been claiming to give us 4G for all these years, but 4G by the spec, the official spec, is 100 megabits while moving, gigabit while standing still. If you're not getting that, it's not 4G. Come on, SpaceX, give me my 4G.
Well, that might be the case, but I also believe that is a specific kind of radios that they use for that. That may be using the same radios for this, for all we know. What we're looking at is that they're going to be sending up these satellites in a low Earth orbit, much lower than other communication satellites usually are, which will increase the ability for them to have lower latency, so you weren't talking 2-second latency between things. And more importantly, for this kind of application we talk on this show, a gigabit per second is plenty for you to stream your stuff, even if you do have a second lag for it to start.
So if these satellites are going to be LEO, does that mean they're going to write tickets and shoot minorities as well?
I have no idea.
Or is that the wrong LEO?
I think that's the wrong LEO.
Oh, okay.
Since I don't know which LEO you're talking about, I'm going to say yes. Okay. Apparently, good weave like that.
Law enforcement officer too.
Well, but,
hey, if you get an LEO in LEO, so like a law enforcement officer in low Earth orbit. Okay. Speaking of that, did you watch that show I recommended you watch?
I did not spend any time watching that show.
Space Precinct 2040. Check it out.
Apparently there was an earlier one too, so...
Oh, they did a pilot early, but it never got...
like an early series, just regular Space Precinct. Apparently there's an earlier one too.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So, the one thing I do want to mention about this is, first of all, it's interesting that the FCC has approved this for 3 companies. So that's exciting in a couple of respects, because high availability, high bandwidth internet is always cool to me, especially if it allows you to have your internet service in more than one specific physical location. And having some competition is very exciting. It seems unusual that all of these other companies would be able to afford it. It even seems unusual that SpaceX could afford it. 12,000 total satellites is a lot of satellites. And even with small satellites, that's a lot of launches. pull off between 2019 and 2024. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. It is, but they do several satellites in one launch. So
right. That's what I said. Is even but 12,000 or 1,200 satellites.
Yeah.
That's
But
or 12,000. It's 12,000, not 1,200.
the glaring issue here is why the hell do they need the FCC's permission? Because this is basically the same principle of why all the Southern California radio stations are in Baja California. Because they're across the border, and you can't prevent radio waves from crossing the border. They're outside of FCC regulation. So if you're beaming from space, FCC doesn't rule space.
No, they cover the whatever radio spectrum you're using, and they probably had to approve the use of these for whatever this.
But
purpose.
no.
That's
But
all.
that's the thing: is if you're outside of their jurisdiction, they can't stop you from doing it.
So you're saying the jurisdiction? Okay. Yeah, good point. I don't know.
Well,
Maybe they
See, that's the
have
whole
jurisdiction.
that's the whole point of space. It's the final frontier, right?
my guess is
Nobody owns
they're probably repeating the signal and going across some some band
Signal.
out there that they do govern, right?
I mean, ultimately, it's got to hit some sort of terrestrial location in order to connect to the rest of all of us.
Maybe
right?
this is totally FCC's regulating our broadcast of information back up to the satellites. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, and ultimately, even if they could get around it by putting the terrestrial link in Baja California or whatever, probably not the best choice for a company that wants to continue doing a lot of work for the government and with the government.
You say, screw you, we don't need you. We got our own space planes now.
They're making lots of money doing things for the government, though.
Yeah.
Sending satellites
Probably.
up, things like that.
Well,
so,
it's not like the government has any choice but to use them. They shut down the space program. Thanks, Obama.
All right, moving on. We're going to go into Rumorville. Rumorville this time is CBS is looking to purchase, completely own all of Viacom via stock buyout. This could be happening anytime, but it's just I just want to think about what does that mean if all the Viacom channels become part of CBS? Does that mean they all get sucked into CBS All Access?
No, it means CBS Access will become Real World and Jersey Shore 24/7.
Nickelodeon too. Remember that.
Yeah, but that's only while the parents are at work.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing here, I mean, this isn't a hostile takeover, right? So they are making negotiations. They are trying to make this work in an amenable fashion. So while this is a potential way to perform a hostile takeover, to do a stock-based purchase of the company and gain ownership that way, they're not going for anything like that. They are doing a negotiation. It's an all-stock purchase, but they're working with them. They are valuing it less than market value, which is interesting, and that's unusual in a non-hostile type situation where they're starting out there. But makes you wonder what the outlook for these companies is if they start in such a fashion.
Yeah, I have. There's a good question. Somebody asked, wasn't CBS and Viacom the same company? Actually, I'm not certain. I know Viacom was part of something that they were conjoined with. So it is interesting that these mergers rearrange the various companies like this. So
I mean, the only one I care about really is the Comedy Central, right?
Right.
Yeah. So. Oh, sorry.
Comedy Central hasn't been funny since like 2005.
Yeah. So they were together. They were split about 10 years ago.
Okay.
they were part of the Sumner Redstone estate, and the family separated and broke it up and stuff like that. So this is bringing it back together, and maybe that's part of why this is happening. I think.
I wonder if it's the same broker that sold it off is now selling it back.
Collecting fees again.
Yeah, if anybody's making money, it's got to be the lawyers.
Yeah.
As an employee of a lawyer now, I say, please, more business.
Yeah.
All right, last story of the evening, everybody. Sanyo has decided to join the fray. It's decided that they're going to be making more of their TVs, but they're going to be making they're going to go ahead and make a lineup of TVs that include the Roku TV interface, which is interesting. Sanyo always seemed to be one of the most least expensive, halfway decent brands. When you go to the store, you see all the different things. You go, "Why is the Sanyo $100 cheaper?" And the guy goes, "I don't know, it's a Sanyo."
What's a Sanyo?
It's a Sanyo. So, I've never had a problem with Sanyo TVs, so this is good stuff.
Sanyo's never been a brand that you would consider marquee.
No.
They've always been the, yeah, I wanted a portable tape player. I got a Sanyo. Well, at least it's a portable tape player.
And it usually worked.
At least it worked for a while.
Yeah.
Maybe forever, because you never used it. So it never wore out. But
I don't know. Sounds like you have had a lot more trouble with Sanyo than I have.
Sanyo's like most of those the lower tier brands where the products could be great, they could be crap. You kind of roll the dice, and maybe it's a bang for the buck thing. So I'll check it out if the price is right. I'd pick one up.
Media King 909 says you're burying the lead, which is that Sanyo still around? Really?
I dropped that ball on that one. You're right. You're totally right.
All right, and that's the end of our news feed this week, guys.
Sweet, which brings us.
I'd just like to say that TV was a Sanyo TV.
Oh, was it? Let's watch
I
that
don't know.
again. No.
It sure looked like one.
It might be. So yeah, like I was saying, I'd buy a Sanyo TV, but I'm not very picky for stuff like that. If I have a need, I'm gonna get the cheapest thing that is gonna give me the best quality.
Right.
So.
No, the first HD TV I bought was a 720p big 50-inch Sanyo. So it was like, wow, I could buy that TV over there. It's 1080p and it's really expensive. And this one was like back when big TVs were $2,000, $3,000. I could get this one for $800 less than at 720p. Okay, that works. And it worked fine for years and years and years.
So who's got what? What you got? Rants, raves. Bring it. Nothing?
Oh,
Nobody?
I got stuff for you guys.
Okay, what do you got?
I'll start. Well, I wanted to say that I've been finally caught up on Lethal Weapon, the season of Lethal Weapon, which has been a wonderful show, you guys. If you want some, it's a little dark and the psychoanalysis side of it, but otherwise it's a funny show with big explosions. It's just stupid fun, really fun show. But other than that, last night I decided I wanted to watch the new Spider-Man movie. I haven't watched it yet.
The Homecoming.
And it was The Homecoming. It was actually very good. I liked the way they took that. I liked how they started it. Really just. Without even, no backstory. You've seen the backstory. You don't need it again.
Well, you're expected to have seen Civil War, so that was your introduction,
right? So I really enjoyed it, and Michael Keaton was great, and the various PSAs in the show were hilarious.
Yeah, and I gotta say, Marissa Tomei, She's still got it. As his aunt.
Yeah.
Damn.
Last but not least, I've a long time ago I asked you guys, should I buy Star Wars Battlefront 2, because I played the game when it was a free little beta thing they were doing, and I had a lot of fun. Well, apparently they fixed it. They've removed all the different, purchasing problems that were, the gambling part of it.
And they removed all the fun parts too?
And I don't know if they removed all the fun. I'm having a lot of fun with it because it was only $24, and it's great. I liked it. It's been a lot of fun. When I have a few minutes of extra time, I get on there and play some space battles. It's fun.
Excellent.
Cool.
So that's it for me.
Great. All right. So, like you, this was a little bit of not this week, but I've been working to get caught up on MacGyver. So we finally got to the the last week's episode of MacGyver. CBS All Access keeps it. You can't watch the current episode until it's been out like a whole week or something like that.
Why are you paying for All Access?
Yeah. Well, it was the cheaper solution for watching the season and a half of MacGyver that I had missed. But we're actually enjoying it. We'll probably keep it because it also lets us watch Hawaii Five-0. So we'll watch those two shows, and then when the season ends, we'll probably cancel that. But alternatively, on my own time, I started Critical Role, the second campaign. So Critical Role is a D&D campaign that they air once a week, and they're a bunch of professional voice actors playing a D&D game, and the guy that runs the game is outstanding. He's an outstanding storyteller, does great voices, and is very exciting and interesting, and the rest of the guys are all really good at coming up with great accents and great characters, and they do a really good job of playing in character. So they're
he's not outstanding in the yard.
No. But yeah, I mean, it's really, really a lot of fun. They do a really great job. If you ever liked D&D, or if you like just fun, enjoyable, goofy stuff, then it's pretty darn good. But as somebody that's liked D&D for a long time, that enjoys playing, I definitely really enjoy watching Critical Role. So worth checking out.
Cool. Good Weave says it's a good series. So,
I've been meaning to catch up on Critical Role. I have it on my podcast, and it's just one of those things. Just like I don't know if I want to listen to that, because those long-term podcasts that really suck you in, you really have to commit to them for you have to keep following them. So,
I watched the first 15 episodes of the first campaign, or listened to them, watched them. They were awesome, and I really liked it. But they're 3+ hours per episode, and when I started, they were already on episode 25. So getting caught back up was very daunting. So it was it's like being 4 or 5 seasons behind, and This new one is only a few months old. They started at the first of the year, and so I've got a lot less to get caught up on. So I've kind of given up on catching up on the original campaign for now. I'll go back and hopefully watch that at some point, and I'm just trying to get caught up to the current campaign, which, like I said, the first 3 episodes have been really good. So
cool.
Good deal.
All right.
All right. I guess I'll go next. So me and my wife, we just started watching Better Call Saul, the 3rd season. We're always a season behind. We watch it when it comes out on Netflix. And so just started that one, enjoying that one. That one is good as always. I also started Jessica Jones, the 2nd season. It's starting off a little slow. It's still pretty good, but a little slower than the first season. I really enjoyed the first season. This one's starting out a little slow, but I'm still liking it. Also, Billions. I'm watching the now episode of Billions. That one's turning out to be a good season this year.
They're starting out strong. So
yeah. And one other thing that I'll throw in, I didn't put in the the docket there. But I was surfing around on YouTube this past weekend and come across, if anybody's ever into like MMA fighting, that kind of thing, then one channel I'd recommend to subscribe to on YouTube is Joe Rogan, right? The Joe Rogan channel. He does a show every week. I think he puts out shows every other day or something.
Oh
like
yeah,
that
that's all he does. That's like his full-time job now.
Yeah. So so if you like Joe Rogan and you like MMA, definitely a good one to subscribe to.
Yeah,
Cool.
Let me just add, if you're now watching through season 3 of Better Call Saul, go back and check out Talking, or what was I'll get it for you. Jackie had a podcast, Talking Saul, right? Is it
Talking Saul?
Okay.
I think that's it. I should know. I was on like 4 episodes last year. But that's the whole reason you got to go check it out, because I get to talk shit. I like that. I don't really have anything to rant or to rave about other than, it's Lawyer Up. Thank you, Del Noche. It's Lawyer Up. I don't know why I can remember that. Check out last year's season of Lawyer Up. There should be new episodes coming once the new season starts. But I was going to say, my real rave, I think, is the fact that there was a movie draft on Sunday.
Yeah.
There is the B Team, which would be Ritual Misery, the VOD Squad,
Woo-hoo.
Game Night, Walking Drunk, which would be Jackie and Fitz, and then Have a Drink. And then there was this amazing team called Movie Party. Movie Party, yeah. So right now it looks like everybody's in last place waiting for their first movie, except for Game Night, because they purchased a movie that was already out. So they're in first place at just under 60 million. And hopefully we will have...
If you ask me, it's underperforming, so it's all cool.
But I think the biggest problem is everybody that I've talked to has been, I didn't like it, but I loved the book. Which is code to me that I'm going to love it because I never read the book. And so I think that's the problem, is they're drawing the wrong demographic. They need all the people that, just like Jurassic Park movies, you need the people that never read the book. Otherwise, they're going to hate it. But
so, Clyde, you are on Team Movie Draft.
Movie Party,
excuse me. And you are also a member of the VOD Squad, but you were not on the VOD Squad team.
No, I figured I needed to go out on my own.
Okay, we understand. You're still the enemy, but we understand.
Yep. So as long as the Movie Party is in first place, or at least above the VOD Squad, we will get weekly reports. But if there's a point where the VOD Squad pulls into first, what you're going to see is...
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.
I kid. Yeah, so hopefully going forward we'll have official updates weekly, so tune in. Actually tune in to any one of those podcasts. I'm sure there will be lots of talk about this. Each team bragging on their own show about how awesome they're going to do, except for maybe Game Night. Ouch. Predator, Deadpool 2, and Ready Player One.
So here's the thing. I want to know, right, next week we'll be hearing about 2 new movies that will be coming out, which are A Quiet Place and Truth or Dare. Now, who owns which of those? I'm bringing that up real quick.
Truth or Dare.
Ritual Misery got A Quiet Place.
Yes, I think they also got
and
Truth or Dare. Yeah,
they got both.
They did get both.
This is going to be a good weekend for them. Then I hope that they make a decent amount of money, but I don't think these movies are going to be making, or either of them are going to be making more than 50 million this weekend. I don't think so.
And good week for the record. No, Team Movie Party does not cheat. I was just smarter with the money. And I say I because I did all the bidding.
Well,
Sazian didn't
interestingly enough,
want the stress of potentially bidding wrong, so.
Well,
Matt did all the bidding for us, but I think we did a good job. We just communicated in the background about when to go up and when to stick. I feel like you technically have the slate to beat. By the numbers, by our estimates included, we see you winning and beating us by a solid margin. However, it's not a lot. And we are a reasonably close second. You've got a couple of big movies, one of which there's a little bit of concern about the performance on that Han Solo movie.
See, and that's why I wasn't willing to. If anybody would have gone to 25, I was not going to bid. I refused to pay more than $25 for that movie. I got it for 21.
that's right.
Not my fault. I still had money.
Yeah. So the thing to me that ended up being the killer on this one was the order that they were released. Those two, Solo and Incredibles 2, that you got both of those, came out really far to the end, like the last 10 to 15% of the
That's
shows.
the whole point of the randomized order that nobody knows.
So it did a number for you, and but like I said, I feel good about what we got, and I think that when Han Solo underperforms, I'm not going to see it 10 times like I would probably be interested in doing as a Star Wars movie. One time, that's it. That's all he gets from me.
I will say though, of everybody that participated in the movie draft, Sassien is in the best position because if we win, we win. If we lose, it's my fault. So either way.
Just so you know, the VOD Squad's movies is Hereditary, Ocean's 8, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, Skyscraper, and Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again. So
here we go again. And then as movie party, I've got Blockers, Breaking In, Book Club, Solo, Incredibles 2, Sicario 2, and Replicas.
You did clean up at the end. That's true.
That's why you gotta.
We saved our money for a long time. We were trying to spend it, but we didn't want to be crazy about it. And some people were biting high for stupid movies.
So my concern was if we would have saved too much of our money too long, we would have ended up just having stupid bidding wars with you and overpaying for everything at the end. But what ended up happening is the opposite. We let you underpay for everything at the end.
Right.
So it's all a strategy. It all weighs out. One thing I'm interested in Ready Player One. It did get 80% in the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, so it's not doing great, but it still is doing okay by customer reviews.
Yeah,
and
it's been out for almost a week, and it's only at
65.
It's not even a 65. Last I checked earlier, it was like 59 million.
Yeah, I mean it's close to. It's 64,344. So I mean it's basically 65. But the thing for me is that the week fell on a weird week. It was hard for me. I was going to see this opening weekend, but I just could not get away to go see it. It's not really a good weekend for a movie release, in my opinion. Nobody has time off. Nobody has availability at the end of April, early March. So, we'll see. Hopefully it'll.
Wait, your months go backwards? Do you go April, March?
No, but it's
end of April, early March.
Yeah, whatever.
I didn't catch that until
months go backwards for me because I don't know months. It's whatever somebody says it is. Anyway.
All right. Well, yeah, no, check back next week for an update. Also, check into Ritual Misery and have a drink and game night and all the other places to find out how they're doing. But yeah, if you're watching this after the fact, we are here every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Central, for almost 2 years now. This is where all the magic happens when it happens live. So, yeah, come join us. Otherwise, you know what? You can find our stuff sometimes on YouTube when I'm not angry at them. You can reach out to us at DC Movie Party.
Well, you're
on
really
Twitter.
promoting that now, aren't you?
At the VOD
Wow.
Squad on Twitter. And yeah, I guess until then, put those diamonds up. See you guys.
Later.
I got it.
Diamond Club hopes you have